How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today's video, we are working on the new XJ. I already did some stuff off camera, replaced the starter. This thing fires right up now. I did the steering box because that was leaking, and I removed the front bumper, got my truck lights on there, and that's pretty much all I did so far. That bumper took a lot of time because it was actually welded on there, wasn't bolted at all. The plate, he had some plates coming back that only came back to here, so that's all that was holding the front bumper on. They were welded, so it took me some time to cut that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did since we got it home. So the plan today is to get the rear axle swapped, get this one out of my Jeep. Now it's the same rear axle, Dana 35. The only reason I'm swapping is because these have brand new drum brakes on, and it's going to be easier to swap the axle than do a drum brake rebuild on that one. Because if you know anything about drum brakes, they're kind of complicated inside. They take some time to do, more time than it would to just swap the axle. So that's why we're just gonna swap it right over. So let's get started on that. First things first, I'm gonna spray these U-bolts down with some PB because it's probably been a little while since I took these off, and I'm gonna hit the shock bolts there too. Drive shaft's already out, so I just have to take off the 8 U-bolts, or the 4 U-bolts, 8 bolts, and then the shocks and the brake line, and this thing will drop right out. Alright, it is actually no wonder this thing had no brakes. There is actually a lot of missing parts. First off, up here at the wheel cylinder, there's supposed to be like 2 forks coming out of each end, and they go into that groove right there, and that's what actually applies the brakes, because when you hit the brake pedal, it pushes out on the wheel cylinder, pushes those forks, and then it makes your, it makes the shoe come out and press against the against the drum. And I also noticed it has an ABS axle shaft in it and a sensor. I didn't even realize that was cut. So I think if I follow it up, there should be an ABS wire going. So I think we might actually just end up doing the axle swap, because this thing pretty much needs a full rebuild. Alright, yeah, so I'm just going to continue with the axle swap instead of doing the brakes. I'm just going to honestly just throw this drum back on here. I'm going to throw out all this crap. This side just needs Jesus anyway, so it's not going to do it much good. It just pretty much needs a full rebuild. Anyway, so, and this axle is going in a Jeep that doesn't even have a motor, so don't worry. It won't be needing to stop anytime soon. So yeah, let me get this drum back on, get this thing on some jack stands, and then we'll get going on that swap. So we got the brake lines off, and the e-brake cables disconnected. I end up just cutting the ABS line, just saying whatever. So yeah, now we can just unbolt this thing and drop it right out. Alright guys, so we got one side out, one more to go here. Before we get started, I'm going to quick spray bomb this axle just to give it a little bit cleaner look, and then while I'm letting the paint dry, I'm going to start working on this one. Alright, so we got this blue disaster out. We're going to get that set up in the old one. I'll just bolt it up, not even hook up the brake lines, just so I can roll it around. And then this one, gonna go into this Jeep, get her bolted up, get the brakes hooked up, get them bled, and that should about wrap it up for the axle swap. Got the old axle in there in the old Jeep, got the new one set up under here. I got all the U-bolts and the shocks tightened up. Now I just got to finish hooking up the brake lines and the e-brake cable, and I'm actually glad I ended up doing the swap, because I had my entire e-brake set up, and as you can see here, his lines were cut. So we'll actually have a functioning e-brake after this, and then hook up the drive shaft, and then bleed them, and then we'll be done with this part. Alright, so now I'm gonna put on the brake line. This is the extended brake line, and then run the e-brake cables, and then tighten down the e-brake. Got everything hooked up on the rear axle there. All we gotta do now is bleed it. So what I'm gonna use for that is one of these self-bleeder kits. I'll show you how it works. Make sure you have some brake fluid handy, because you're gonna be going through some of it. But come around to the back of your drum, find your bleeder valve, which is that one right there. And then go ahead and open that guy up a half turn or so. See the fluid dripping out. Take your line and then get it set up on the valve there, and all you're going to do now is pump the brakes, and you're going to see it first. We're going to have a lot of air bubbles in this line, so I'll just leave the camera here with the line so you can see that. So I don't know if you guys saw that at first, but there was a lot of air initially, but they actually look pretty good now. I'm just going to do it one more time just to make sure. So that's pretty much good for this side. So go ahead and remove the self-bleeder. Tighten that valve back up. And that's it for this side. Now before we go to the next side, make sure you top off your brake fluid. As you can see, it was already full and we're already at the add mark. So go ahead and top that off. Alright. Now let's go around the passenger side. Alright guys, so I got the brakes bled, wheels and tires are on now. Let's take this thing for a rip. We'll see how she stops now. See if that was indeed our problem, which I'm sure it was. So the brakes definitely feel a whole lot better. Like it stops like it should now, but come to think of it, I never actually had this thing out on the road, you know, out of third gear or whatever, but it's got a very loose front end. If I don't know, I wouldn't feel very good going like 60 miles an hour in this thing. I just noticed that power steering pump's making a lot of noise. I'm gonna look at that when I get back. Take the back way in. Probably should have put a license plate on this thing before I went out right there, but oh well. Oh, I'm actually going to pull it in because now we're going to work on the front bumper. Let's go ahead and get putting this new, or not the new, my old front bumper on. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the guy previously had welded that old front bumper on. So we're going to have to try to work around that. Might have to do some more hammering so everything lines up nice and smooth. It does kind of stink though because the new bumper there utilizes these holes, and usually they're out another inch yet, but these are actually pushed back flush, so I don't think I'm going to be able to use those, but it'll be alright because it actually ties into the more of the frame and bolts all the way through. So I don't think it'll be an issue, but it would be nice if I could just use everything. And then on this side, you use one of the, or two of the steering box bolts. So you gotta be careful when you line it back up. But yeah, it won't be too hard. So let's get started. Alright, now that I got these mounting brackets on, let me kind of show you what I was talking about. See this tab right here on the body of the Jeep, there's two holes and they should be lining up with those two. And same case on the other side. Let me actually show you on my my old Jeep here, just so you know what it's supposed to look like. See that tab's supposed to hang out probably an inch or so. But not the case on this one, but it should be alright. There's 4 bolts that tie into the frame on each side, so it should be alright. So I'm gonna get the bumper on and we'll be good to go. Got the new bumper on. That's pretty much all I wanted to do today. This pretty much gets the Jeep good enough to be on the road now that the brakes work good and everything. Other than that, the next video on this Jeep is going to be doing all that interior stuff, getting everything wired up, getting the winch, get all my roof rack and everything transferred over. We're going to Roush Creek in like 2 weeks, so I want to be ready for that, all good to go, which won't be hard to do. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.